My name is Shelly. Is our City Council working to keep our Canadian culture and way of life? Thank you, Mayor Sohi and City Councillors, for this opportunity to participate in the democratic process. I'm here to express my concerns regarding Charter Bylaw 24,000 and its implication for Edmonton residents. One of the most concerning aspects of the city plan is its goal to restrict Edmonton residents from driving their cars 50% of the time, pushing them to use public transit or active modes of transportation such as walking or biking. My understanding is that this means I will need to stay within my district to meet all my needs so that the city can meet its climate plan objectives. However, I must emphasize this is not your plan. It is part of a global agenda. I appreciate all the points that the speakers who were for these plans. However, not one of them mentioned that they will be driving their cars for only 50% of the time. While no one opposes the idea of being good stewards of the land, it is essential to prioritize the needs and rights of Edmonton residents over global agendas. This bylaw, with its restrictive measures, seems to impose significant limitations on personal mobility and property rights without adequately considering the practical implications for the residents. It is important to know that Canada, with 80% of its land uninhabited, acts as a significant natural carbon sink. Our vast forests, wetlands, and other natural landscapes contribute substantially to global carbon absorption. This unique position allows Canada to address climate concerns without imposing restrictive urban regulations. It is important to note that CO2 is not a pollutant. Carbon dioxide is a natural occurring component of our atmosphere and essential for plant life. Policy should focus on practical environmental stewardship rather than drastic measures aimed at CO2 reduction. The proposed changes not only infringe upon individual freedoms, but also places undue burdens on local businesses and residents. We must be proactive and ensure that policies reflect the immediate needs and preferences of Edmonton residents, rather than adhering to global mandates that may not align with our local context. We want you to have a local voice over an international voice. Edmonton belongs to God and us, not the United Nations. We need you, Mayor Sohi and City Councillors, to step up and reconsider Charter Bylaw 24,000 and prioritize the well-being and autonomy of Edmontonians. You are spending $1.7 billion over 10 years on housing, affordability, homelessness, poverty, food security, mental illness, and drug addictions, and yet you will be spending $5 billion on climate initiatives. Is this a trade-off worth it? I don't think so. Let's focus on locally driven solutions that respect our rights and address our unique needs while leveraging Canada's natural carbon sinks. And to speak to one of the speakers before, 15-minute cities is not a conspiracy theory. It is all part of agenda, UN agendas that Canada signed on to in 1992. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. Next, we'll